used to want people to love me, so I learned how to sing. Then I thought I wanted
Good evening, family, friends. Amber here. I'm going to take you for a little tour around today to show you some of the things that we've got going on and the hot mess that this garden space has become. But before I do that, Eli and I had a really exciting week. We ended up taking a very unexpected last-minute trip to Montreal, and on our way home we stopped at the Kingston Penitentiary. I'm going to bring you some video next week on our trip to Montreal, and but for now I'm going to show you our little stay, our little stop that we made here in Ontario to the Kingston Penitentiary. So come along.
Used to worry about the future, but the future never came. Tried living in the past, but never did quite feel the same. I used to think that
A tour of the pen is in about an hour, so we just came down here and had a lunch and walked the pier. We'll head back up to the museum and then we'll head in for our tour.
I guess we've always wanted a house on the lake, and I guess going to prison, to this prison, you get that.
Yep, their own lakefront property. Look at that, eh? Something tells me that those accommodations wouldn't be very luxury, though.
No.
No.
You would leave a duck's head.
There's a big one making its way to the water.
Is that like a yacht?
Mm-hmm.
That's a yacht.
That's a lovely one. You think you could manage a sailboat?
No.
It's a lot of rigging. Dad could?
Dad could with a little bit of help. I think you need 2 people. Like, that's the minimum, I think.
Oh, that's lovely.
That's the next one. Didn't we used to have something like that?
Oh, it didn't look anything like that, but yeah, something like that.
I don't know about you.
Oh, you know what?
Family sailing?
You know what we named our boat?
Richard.
Family Matters.
Name our boat.
There was a sitcom back in the 80s.
Family Matters?
Yeah.
Oh, that boat's for sale.
I think. Oh yeah, it's a sailboat.
It's a sailboat for sale.
A sailboat for sale. Copacetic. Basically just like a, let's just go with the flow. All right. It's a fire and rescue.
Oh, is that what that is? I thought it was a gas.
That's a sailing team out there training. It's really fascinating watching them. Okay, so on our way up to Montreal from here, from our home, we passed through Kingston, and I had mentioned about the penitentiary, and I had asked Eli whether or not that was something that he would be interested in doing. And then I kind of Googled it to see whether or not it was age appropriate to take him, and see whether or not a 12-year-old should be going to a penitentiary. It's open right now for tours. It's turned into a museum. Yeah, it was a really neat experience. Eli really liked it, and I had called to see whether or not it was, like I said, age appropriate, and they said it was fine. Yeah, so it's a tour that you can go on. You do need to purchase tickets in advance, and I highly encourage you. You can do that on the website, and I'll put the link below. Really enjoyed learning a lot about the penitentiary. Kingston is Ontario's oldest and longest running penitentiary for maximum security offenders. It was in operation right up until September 30th. Of 2013, when they finally closed the doors. A majority of the offenders, they went elsewhere throughout Canada, but majority of them went to Millhaven, which is the other penitentiary here in Ontario. We got a tour guide, and then each stop that we go along the way, there would be a retired staff members that were telling their take and their story. They were actually working in it. Many worked for 30 years in the penitentiary, some guards, some service workers, things like that, and they kind of share their experiences of what it was like working inside of the facility and what it was like to work with the inmates. But yeah, you'll see here, while I'm taking you through the video, you'll see the cells. They kept them staged, and that was kind of for effect, just for doing the tours. And some of the inmates said that was fine, that they would leave their things behind. And it was kind of an interesting take, because you kind of got to see in real time what it was like. That this inmate was lucky.
Yeah, I didn't intend 64.
Is that?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Out on the loose, out on
Oh,
the run. They're on the other side of the
he's got some educational reading. I didn't take a lot of footage, only because I was trying to kind of protect and preserve the privacy. They did have a museum that was located right across the road, which unfortunately I did not get a lot of video because my battery died. So it was still a really interesting museum, where they had displayed a lot of the things that the inmates would have used. And if you ever have an opportunity, I highly encourage it. It was fascinating for a 12-year-old boy. Anyways, that's for sure. So we learned that Kingston Penitentiary suffered 3 massive riots over the lifespan of it. The first one was in October of 1932, and then the second one was done in August of 1954. There was another riot. That one cost them a lot of money to repair, and the fires that broke out demolished the horse stables and a lot of the shops, and the very famous, iconic Grand Dome that was kind of famous. But that fire destroyed most of that. And then there was also the most recent one was in April of 1971, and that one unfortunately cost a lot of inmates their lives, and some of the inmates had taken hostages, and it was a pretty bad scenario. So that was kind of one of the stories that one of the guards had shared, his experience with that.
I got one call.
You got one call. Make it count.
Vengeance in mine. I'll make it hurt. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Out on the loose, out on the run. They're on the other side of the gun.
Now, are there any questions about private family visitation?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm on the loose, you're on the run. Heavy the head who's wearing the crown. Here's where it all ends. This is where
Most of Canada's notorious offenders would have likely spent time in this penitentiary at one time or another.
this is how it all burns. I will make it hurt. I will make it hurt. Make it hurt. Pretty little fires burn. I will make it hurt.
Okay, so I'm going to show you around my garden and this hot mess. I have got some serious work to do. My poor beans, but these all needs to come out. Everything seems to be going to seed right now. My basil, it's all gone to seed. I've got some jalapeno peppers. No fruits on them yet. I do have some berries in here. Look at this. Some little strawberry blessings. Oh, look at that. We have never harvested a strawberry because the critters get to them, but my tomatoes seem to be protecting them. Yum. The bugs are bad. I'm not going to show you too much in there. My poor garden. It's been neglected this year. I've been pretty busy with work and stuff, and I haven't been in here much. The pollinators have been busy. There's another one over here too. My garlic needs to come up. This is all the garlic. It's going to get harvested here. I got some beets here. They're not overly big. Get those up. Didn't get much of a harvest of cucumbers this year. There's a nice cucumber there. It's a little one. I'm going to leave that and let it get a bit bigger. There's another one. All right. Hopefully it's not too dark, guys. I think it might be a little too dark. I changed over to my iPhone because my other camera's not working so well and it's dark out here, so it's hard to see what's happening. You can see the moon behind me here. You see the moon up in the sky? It's beautiful. I forgot. This was here. It needed to be harvested. Got lots of cucumbers. Yeah, let's show you around this garden. There's so much bounty. I've got a lot of work to do to get this stuff brought up. But let me show you what we've got. So these are my turnips. It's got lots of turnips here. So those can probably get harvested. I've got a bunch of Swiss chard in here that's ready to come up. I've been cutting and eating from that fresh. And this is a green zucchini. I just picked that one big one off. There's a couple smaller ones that can probably come off here a little bit later. This is a sweet pepper plant. It's a little small. The variety of it, it's just a regular bell pepper. Some cucumbers here. My sunflower, it got topped. The flower fell off, unfortunately. But I've got the other two over there at the other end. Again, another sweet peppers here, and some more cucumbers. I planted a really interesting variety this year. Oh, here's another cucumber that can come off. That was called a lemon cucumber. And unfortunately, I don't think they germinated. I didn't get a lot of germination on anything. Like, look at this little piddlin of a jalapeno pepper I wanted to do for my cowboy candy, but unfortunately, they didn't seem to do much this year. Lots of tomatoes in here. This rambling bush. The other section of the garden, I decided to trim those up, but these ones I left just to kind of bush out, just to see how they would look and how they would do. And they're not doing nearly as well as the others up at the front. So I think trimming your tomatoes, getting the airflow through them, and staking them up is ideal. This is a broccoli that doesn't seem to be heading up much. It's supposed to have little flowerets on it, but it doesn't. Oh, look it. Oh my goodness, my yellow zucchinis are just going big gangbusters in here. Gotta get some of those off. These are I don't see a lot of flowers on here. This is my butternut squash. Unfortunately, I hope it does come. My arugula's all gone to seed. This is ready to come out. I might let it go to seed and see if I can collect some of it off. My cilantro, same thing. It's all gone back to seed as well. Outperforming. My beans are finally starting to climb up on my trellis, but they are vining up very beautifully. I think that's going to look pretty. A little while longer. You just have to sometimes tuck these wayward ones in. This is my purple kale, and it's doing beautifully. Oh, look at this bean. It's coming all the way over here. They go gangbusters. But I don't want it snuffing out my... Oh, here's my kale. We'll take this leaf up here. Oh my gosh, the mosquitoes are terrible. This is the thing that I've had issues with this whole summer, is when I get out here, the mosquitoes literally take me away. This kale looks beautiful. The purple kale has those anthocyanins in it. It's a little bit healthier, and Eli loves the kale chips. I just had a heck of a time with my melons. They did okay. Nothing's leafed up. I don't even see a single fruit on this yet, so my season is calling for frost in about 55 days, so I'll be lucky if I even get a single melon out of this. Yeah, so these are all my carrots. Got a nice bunch of carrots in here. none of my, this here patch right here, this whole area here, I did green onions and none of them came up. So I do have some kale here. Here we go. This is my green kale here. Just a little bit. And my potatoes, they're all just about ready to harvest. We'll get some of those out. These are the nightshades. These are my aubergines, the eggplants. But again, I do have some seeding here. We'll see whether or not they come up or anything comes of them. And these are my red cabbages. This garden section got planted a little late because it was put in late. So we'll see whether or not I get any harvest out of the fall here. There's a little bit more kale here. This was the one that I planted on that strip. But my blessed husband was trying to do some weeding and he pulled most of the seedlings out once they germinated. These are the gherkin cukes. Anyway, it's getting dark here, guys. You probably can't see well, but I do have pumpkins over here. Let's hope that they're gonna germinate. This is my spaghetti squash. Oh, thank goodness I got one fruit. Yay. These were so prolific the first year I planted them, and I haven't been able to get them since. So I think I was being punished for wasting food. These are pumpkins, but don't see any fruit setting yet. So fingers crossed that we'll harvest something out of them. But I'm going to take you over to the other side here and show you my little garden blessings. I tried these new tomato variety this year, and it's called the Golden Dipper. They're long. They're like a grape tomato, but they're nice and long. Oh, that one's got a bit of a crack in it. We got a ton of rain in the last couple of days. Frank was out here munching on them and he said they were tasty. The beefsteaks and the heirlooms that I've got. Yeah, there's some more in here. There's lots of tomatoes coming. I'm trying to keep harvesting off of it and drying some of it out. Oh, it smells so good. Oh, fresh basil in a salad or on a pizza. So tasty. So these are those. They're called a Golden Dipper. They're really interesting shape. My marigolds are doing beautifully. Oh, there's my first blushing tomato. Oh, and it's split. Like I said, we've had some really inconsistent watering, and that's kind of what causes tomatoes to split. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, that's a good tomato. These are the heirlooms that I got. Okay, it's totally dark here, guys. The bats are out. We need to get in the house. There's so many bats around our house. Ooh, Frank, I don't know if I got video of it or not, but one flew in the house the other night, and Frank had to get the net.
No. Okay. You open that door right there, and it just touches the other side. Okay, close the door.
Threw the entire net outside.
Oh yeah. You think I'm gonna take them out and say hi and high five them and don't let the bugs in.
Yeah, so.
Oh no, he's not. Oh, now he is. That a boy. Good boy.
I know they're flying around the house all the time, which is good for mosquitoes. And they say it's fantastic to have bats around your property, but not inside the house. Sorry, I draw the line there. It's a beautiful evening here in the garden. I hope you enjoyed that video, guys. Until next time, stay safe and keep living. Oh, I see a bat.
I'll figure it out. You find peace where you make it. Scenery won't change it. I wasted so much time thinking I could ever find would bring me peace. So I found peace with who I am now. It's the only me I'll ever be. I found it. There are other places, there are a million other faces, but I found peace with who I am.